Hey there, everybody. Michael Knowles here. This is from a Daily Wire Plus member block, the portion of the show that we do only for Daily Wire Plus members. There's a lot more excellent show in our members only sections, so become a member and get the entirety of every Daily Wire Plus show. How do you think AI deepfakes will affect politics in the future? The reason I think it should be for Drew is because Drew obviously left us in 2013, and we've had a hologram of him ever since. But Ben, I'll give it to you.
So it's a little scary. I mean, so for those of you who have not seen the actual deepfakes of me, they're pretty good. I mean, particularly the voice deepfakes are really, really, really good.
Like so this one right now.
Yes, correct. The ones where I'm endorsing the Barbie movie and the presence of aliens on planet Earth. The quality of AI is so good now. And the quality of the AI that we have not yet seen is even better. So I know a lot of the people who are, the heads of these AI firms, and basically all the stuff that's already come online where we're making fun of the fact that like they can't do the hands right in the and Will Smith looks weird when he's eating spaghetti. That stuff was corrected like a year ago, right? That's all the stuff that we're seeing right now. So the quality of the deepfakes is going to be really, really good. And what that's going to mean is that this is going to sound self-serving because it is, but you're really going to have to rely on platforms more than you rely on the actual content that you see. Meaning that if you want to watch a Ben Shapiro take on a thing, you should go to Ben Shapiro's website. If you want to watch Michael Knowles take on a thing, you should come to dailywire.com because there is going to be an enormous amount of deepfake material, and then there are going to be deepfakes of the people who would normally fact check the deepfakes, right? So there'll be a video of Biden saying a thing, and then normally you'd come to my show to see what I say about it, and there'll be deepfake of me having a take on it, and you can go down endless rabbit holes this way. I know there's a very, very deep worry for a lot of the people who are making AI right now because they actually do not want deepfakes impacting elections in the future. The truth is that I think this is more of a marginal concern than a major concern because, again, I think there will be ways to fact check and verify and do all that sort of stuff.
I think this though is the real dystopian, apocalyptic, futuristic scenario more than people worried about. Will AI become conscious? Will there be conscious robots? Terminator? That's not what we have to worry about. We have to worry about exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to worry about that. It's going to be real copyright issues. I mean, IP is going to be a disaster. It already is.
But shouldn't this be in the reach of regulatory attack?
Yeah, I mean, sure, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to be. It's not
to say something.
100%. So you should be able to copyright your voice. You should be able to do all of these things.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that it can't, run around the world before it actually gets stopped. Obviously, so that's one serious problem. I mean, there are far kind of more interesting and graver issues with the efficacy of AI, which is going to be so sophisticated. It's going to have massively beneficial effects in terms of our daily life, in terms of productivity. Like if you're worried about inflation, you should probably stop worrying about inflation and start worrying about deflation. The amount of productivity in the economy is about to explode because everything that takes you forever to do is going to be done in mere seconds. Like productivity is just going to absolutely increase, and being a sort of tech optimist, I think that's a good thing. On the other hand, what AI is going to be capable of doing is basically making an enormous amount of human work and labor completely expendable. And when that happens, it's going to disrupt everything. It's going to disrupt nearly every major industry. It's going to disrupt the entire education system. It's going to disrupt pretty much everything. And you could see that as a good thing or a bad thing because, pretty much every technological change has been both a good thing and a bad thing, right? It'll have some very salutary effects on the goods and services that are available to us, and it'll have some, I think, very non-salutary effects on how we interact with one another. That's particularly true in the relationship sphere, where people are going to have AIs that they're falling in love with and spending their time with, which is this is like a very serious concern.
It's hard to see how this would be anything but a bad thing, though.
Yes,
making wide swaths of the human population expendable seems.
Well, I mean, when I say expendable, I mean there's going to be a lag time. So as with every adoption of every new technology, there are people who lose their jobs, and then it's not. What people who are critics of technological advance then say is, well, what happens to those people? And they're right. That's a real critique. It also happens there are new jobs that are created in different fora, right? Nobody is worrying about how you don't know how to plow, right? Like that's not a thing that you care about. But what happens when, for example, pretty much every necessity to read is gone? Like that's a real thing.
Yeah. Okay,
so I was talking to some people who are very, focused on AI and are in the business. I was talking to them about, they're talking about your kid is going to have a tutor, and that tutor is going to be endlessly patient, know everything. You're going to have like an AI tutor that's better at it than a human is because they're not going to get irritated. They're not going to get upset. They're just going to be able to teach and teach and teach. And I said, I'm not sure you've ever met a child because that's not actually how children interact with technology. The way the children interact with technology is they get the thing they want from the technology. Right? So my son, who's 7, probably delayed his reading by 6 months because instead of having to type in the thing that he wanted in my phone, he would just use voice to text.
This is my big problem, and it is a little science fiction-y, but my problem with AI is it represents a misguided notion of what a human being is. And so you have this thing, you call it intelligence, but it's not really intelligence. I mean, if an AI picks 3 movies that my wife would like and is right 3 times, and I pick 3 movies and I'm right only 2 times, I still know my wife better than AI does, because AI doesn't know my wife at all. All it knows is an algorithm. And I think the problem with AI for me is that it has the ability to learn, but it doesn't have the ability to feel, which is a physical, fleshly ability. My ability to look in your eyes and see what a horrible human being you are. No, this is an actual thing that human beings can do that AI can't do. So essentially it's a psychopath because it can calculate advantage, but it cannot feel compassion. And that's what a psychopath does. That's what a sociopath does. And so I am concerned about that in the long run.
Well, it means we're going to have to be incredibly careful about the goal orientation that we give AI.
Yep.
Because what they're saying, what I've been told, is that within 5 years, you're looking at AI that has agency. And when I say agency, I mean that right now you have to enter a prompt to make AI do a thing. What if you just say to AI, cure cancer, and now AI can follow any prompt it wants?
Yeah.
Or kill somebody.
Right. This is the problem. Is the parameters are going to have to be very strictly.
But this is why AI is totally different from. I mean, you point out other technological advances. There are always critics that worry about, people who are made obsolete by it. But it's a completely different thing. I mean, when you go from horse-drawn carriage to a car, okay, well now you got to learn how to drive a car, and so that's going to be difficult for people. There's a lag time. But with AI, it's a different deal because you're taking humans out of the equation completely. So this is the first real technological advance that we're dealing with, where potentially you're just removing people from this entirely, and AI will do it on its own. So it's like you're made obsolete permanently. There's no lag time.
Maybe not. I mean, one way to think about AI is that every technological advance is democratization of something. So the agricultural revolution is a democratization of access to animal energy. And then the industrial revolution is a democratization of the power of machines. Right now, everybody has access to the products of machines. And the information revolution is the democratization of information. Before, it was the preserve of a learned few, and now it's available to everybody. And that means that, again, all these have good and bad. The democratization of intelligence, meaning the capacity to do things quickly that used to take a long time mentally, for a lot of people, that's going to be a true advance. Like, you don't have to go to lawyer school to now write a contract between you and your friend, right? You're just going to be able to say, I want a contract that says the following things, and the computer's just going to do it for you.
Then you're outsourcing your humanity.
Away. Well, is that your humanity? So here's the thing that I think is in some of the conservative danger talk about AI, the thing I think they're missing is the same thing I think the left is missing, and it's what you're talking about, which is the every attempt to categorize man as a thing is wrong. So this attempt to reduce, it's not intelligence, it's humanity. Because I think intelligence is a property humanity has, and computers can have it in certain areas, right? Computers are better at chess than human beings are. But the thing that a human is an emergent property from all of these things that is not those things.
Right.
And so the notion that we will be supplanted as human beings by the machines assumes that the machines will also have these emergent properties. I don't think the machines are going to have the emergent properties
That's the problem, though.
Right, but what that means is that just like any other machine, I mean, the can opener it doesn't have, the will. So these machines are not wills. They don't have will. Will is a human capacity.
But they have
a simulacrum of a will.
They don't have a simulacrum of a will. They have a goal orientation input by a human.
But what does that have to do with anything? I mean, the point is that human beings also do things. We have to do things, and so AI comes along and it gives us nothing left to do anymore. And then what kind of life is that to lead?
I mean, I first of all don't think that's true. I mean, I think that there are a lot of things that we are going to want to do, like, for example, interact with our children. Religious duty is going to be a big one. So Yuval Noah Harari, who's a wild leftist, right? He had a book recently where he's talking about AI, and he's again deeply anti-religious. Yuval Noah Harari. He has this very extraordinarily weird take where at the very end he's talking about tech, and he says maybe we all end up like Haredim, like you sit around and you study Talmud all day. Right? Because those people actually, that's what they do. Like, they've actually disconnected from all tech, and that's actually what they do, and they get all the benefits of tech without actually doing that. So everybody enters the priesthood, right? I mean,
I guess.
I want to know when we get to the point where we can send a cyborg assassin back in time to kill the mother of the rebellion.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm in.
We're close. We're very close. You know, the one thing you guys haven't touched on, which is my big fear with AI, and specifically with deepfakes, is not public people. It's not us. I mean, they'll deepfake us, I guess, but whatever. Then they'll have.
They already have, right? I'm talking with Joe Rogan about getting old on the beach. Right?
Yeah, right. My fear is private people, and my fear is porn. I think all computer advances are led by porn, and porn is used so widely in the culture. And my fear is that private people are going to be faked into all sorts of...
Oh, for sure.
It's already happened.
It's already happened, right?
Well, this is the real danger of AI is that, again, every technology exacerbates the power of human sin. It makes it more far-reaching and deeper. And so all the things that human beings are capable of doing with AI that would be good are going to be matched or surpassed by the things that human beings are going to do that are very, very bad with AI. And so, again, I don't think that even a tech optimist like me, I'm not saying it's an unfettered good. And I think there's so many unknown unknowns when it comes to AI that I even hesitate to discuss exactly what the future is going to look like, because it's going to hit pretty much everything. And I, honest to God, don't know what that looks like or if there's even a way to regulate it.
Become a member, and you can get the full member portion from this episode of Daily Wire Backstage. We cover live questions from our members in this segment, which is how this discussion started. If you like what you see and want more, we would love to have you. Become a member today.